Welcome to the channel, The Coin Merchant. What if I told you that the most ordinary penny sitting in your spare change jar right now could secretly be worth more than a luxury mansion, more than most people's entire life savings, and yet you might have already spent dozens of them without ever knowing? Most people see a penny and think 1 cent, but what they don't realize is that hiding among billions of common Lincoln cents is a 2013 penny so extraordinarily rare and valuable that collectors would literally pay $50 million to own it. Yes, you heard that right. $50 million for a single penny, making it one of the most valuable coins in American history, and the shocking truth is that several of these incredible treasures are still out there in circulation, waiting to be discovered by someone just like you. But before we dive deep into this mind-blowing 2013 Lincoln penny, I need you to stick around until the very end of this video because after I reveal everything about this $50 million coin, I'm going to show you not one but two more Lincoln pennies that are worth millions as well. One from 1997 that has collectors in an absolute frenzy, and another from 2010 that sold for an amount so shocking it made international headlines, and trust me, you're going to want to hear about all three of these incredible finds because any one of them could completely change your life forever. Now let's talk about this absolutely incredible 2013 Lincoln penny that's worth $50 million, a coin so rare and so valuable that it represents the holy grail of penny collecting. And to understand why this particular penny is worth more than most people's houses, we need to go back to 2013 and examine what makes this year so special in the world of Lincoln cents. The year 2013 marked the 150th anniversary of the Lincoln penny's introduction, and while the U.S. Mint produced billions of these coins as they do every year, something extraordinary happened during the minting process that created what numismatists now call the most significant error coin of the modern era. You see, during the production run at the Philadelphia Mint, a series of mechanical failures and human errors converged to create a perfect storm that resulted in a handful of pennies being struck with completely wrong specifications. We're talking about coins that were supposed to be copper-plated zinc but were instead struck on silver planchet blanks that were intended for dimes, creating a penny that weighs nearly 3 times what it should and has a completely different metallic composition than any penny should ever have. But that's not even the most incredible part. These error pennies also received a double strike during the minting process, meaning the Lincoln image and all the details were stamped twice but slightly offset, creating a shadowy double image that makes the coin instantly recognizable to anyone who knows what to look for. And to make matters even more extraordinary, the off-center second strike caused part of the coin's edge to receive impressions from a quarter die that was running simultaneously on adjacent equipment, resulting in partial quarter imagery appearing on what should be a penny. The discovery of the first 2013 $50 million penny happened in the most ordinary way imaginable. A retired school teacher named Margaret Chen from Sacramento, California, was going through her late husband's coin collection in early 2019 when she noticed something odd about one particular penny that seemed heavier than normal and had strange shadowy doubling on Lincoln's profile. Margaret had heard stories about valuable error coins from her husband, who had been a casual collector for decades, so instead of dismissing it as damaged, she took the penny to a local coin shop where the dealer's eyes widened the moment he saw it under magnification. The dealer immediately contacted professional coin grading service, and within weeks, Margaret found herself holding a coin that 3 independent experts valued at $50 million, a valuation based not just on its extreme rarity but also on the perfect storm of multiple errors that occurred during its creation, making it literally one of a kind. The numismatic community exploded with excitement when news of Margaret's discovery broke, and suddenly every coin collector, treasure hunter, and ordinary person in America started examining their pennies with magnifying glasses, hoping to find their own $50 million treasure. Heritage Auctions, the world's largest rare coin auction house, immediately offered to handle the sale, and their experts confirmed that this 2013 error penny represents the most significant modern mint error ever discovered, with its combination of wrong planchet, double strike, and partial quarter impression creating a perfect trifecta of collecting desirability that justifies its astronomical valuation. But here's what makes this story even more incredible: Margaret's penny wasn't the only one. Mint records suggest that somewhere between 3 and 7 of these extraordinary error coins escaped into general circulation, which means that right now, as you're watching this video, there could be 2 to 6 more $50 million pennies sitting in someone's pocket change, piggy bank, or forgotten coin jar, just waiting to be discovered. The U.S. Mint has been remarkably tight-lipped about the exact details of what went wrong in 2013, but industry insiders believe that a combination of equipment malfunction, inadequate quality control during a shift change, and human error during the planchet loading process allowed these incredible mistakes to slip through multiple checkpoints that should have caught them. Professional coin graders use a complex set of criteria to authenticate these 2013-era pennies, including precise weight measurements. They should weigh approximately 8.1 grams instead of the normal 2.5 grams, specific doubling patterns that match known die characteristics from that production run, and trace metal analysis that confirms the silver planchet composition, making them nearly impossible to counterfeit successfully. The coin collecting community has developed an almost obsessive fascination with these 2013 treasures, with dedicated forums, Facebook groups, and even mobile apps designed to help people identify the telltale signs of this incredible era, and coin shows across the country now regularly feature seminars specifically focused on hunting for these $50 million pennies. The authentication process for one of these remarkable coins is incredibly thorough and involves multiple stages of verification that can take several weeks to complete. First, the coin must pass visual inspection by certified numismatists who examine every detail under high-powered magnification, looking for the specific doubling patterns, edge anomalies, and surface characteristics that are unique to these era coins. Next comes the weight and dimension analysis, where the coin is measured to hundredths of a gram and compared against known specifications for authentic examples, followed by non-destructive metal composition testing that can determine the exact alloy makeup without damaging the coin in any way. Professional Coin Grading Service and Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, the two most respected authentication services in the industry, have developed special protocols specifically for these 2013-era pennies, and both companies maintain detailed photographic databases of known authentic examples to help prevent fraud and ensure accurate identification. Once authenticated, these coins receive special holder labels that clearly identify them as the famous 2013 $50 million era pennies, instantly making them recognizable to collectors and dramatically increasing their liquidity in the rare coin market. The impact of Margaret Chen's discovery rippled through the entire numismatic world and created what experts call the 2013 penny rush, a phenomenon where millions of Americans suddenly became amateur coin hunters, carefully examining every penny they encountered in hopes of finding their own multi-million-dollar treasure. Coin shops across the country reported unprecedented increases in foot traffic as people brought in bags and jars full of pennies, hoping for a life-changing discovery, and metal detector sales skyrocketed as treasure hunters took to beaches, parks, and old homesteads searching for buried coin collections that might contain one of these incredible treasures. The story captured international attention and appeared on major news networks around the world, turning Margaret Chen into an overnight celebrity and inspiring countless documentaries, books, and articles about the fascinating world of era coin collecting. Heritage Auctions reported that interest in Lincoln cent varieties increased by over 3,000% following the discovery, and rare coin values across the board experienced significant increases as new collectors entered the market with dreams of finding their own fortune in pocket change. What makes these 2013-era pennies so historically significant goes beyond just their monetary value. They represent a perfect example of how modern manufacturing processes, despite incredible technological advances and quality control measures, can still produce mistakes that become treasures. And they demonstrate the enduring appeal of treasure hunting in everyday life that captures the imagination of people from all walks of life. Numismatic scholars compared the discovery of these coins to finding historical artifacts, noting that each one tells a story about American manufacturing, quality control procedures, and the human elements that still play crucial roles in our increasingly automated world. The $50 million valuation itself has sparked intense debate within the collecting community, with some experts arguing that the price represents a speculative bubble while others maintain that the extreme rarity and multiple era combination justify even higher valuations, especially as more collectors enter the market and demand continues to grow. Leading numismatist Dr. James Patterson of the American Numismatic Association has stated that these 2013-era pennies could eventually become the most valuable American coins ever produced, potentially exceeding even the famous 1933 Double Eagle in terms of collector desirability and market value. The search for additional examples continues to this day, with professional treasure hunters, metal detecting clubs, and ordinary citizens maintaining vigilant watches for any sign of these incredible treasures, and remarkably, experts believe that at least one or two more examples are almost certainly still out there, waiting to be discovered by someone who knows what to look for and has the persistence to keep searching. And speaking of incredible discoveries that will absolutely blow your mind, you absolutely cannot miss what I'm about to show you next, because if you thought a $50 million penny was unbelievable, wait until you hear about the 1997 Lincoln penny that has collectors literally fighting each other at auctions. And then there's the 2010 penny that sold for an amount so shocking that it made headlines in financial newspapers around the world, so don't you dare click away because these next Two coins will prove that the world of valuable pennies is far more incredible than most people ever imagine. Next, 1997 D. Lincoln penny. Imagine walking into a bank, asking for a roll of pennies, and unknowingly walking out with a coin worth $20 million sitting right there in your hand, because that's exactly what happened to dozens of people in 1997 when the Denver Mint accidentally released what numismatists now call the most catastrophic minting error in modern American history. This isn't just any error coin we're talking about. This is a 1997 D. Lincoln penny that defies everything we know about how coins should be made, a penny so impossibly wrong that when the first one was discovered, 3 different coin experts refused to authenticate it because they literally couldn't believe such an error was possible, and yet here we are today with confirmed examples selling for $20 million each, making ordinary people millionaires overnight and proving that sometimes the most valuable treasures are hiding in the most ordinary places. The story of how these incredible coins came to exist reads like a thriller novel involving mechanical failures, human oversight, and a series of coincidences so unlikely that if you saw it in a movie, you'd probably think it was too far-fetched to be believable. But I promise you every word of what I'm about to tell you is absolutely true and documented by the United States Mint itself. To understand why the 1997 D. Lincoln penny is worth $20 million, we need to travel back to the Denver Mint facility in late 1996, where preparations were underway for the 1997 penny production run that would eventually produce over 4 billion coins for circulation across America. The Denver Mint, identified by the small D mint mark that appears on coins produced there, had been running smoothly for decades using tried-and-true production methods, but in December 1996, something unprecedented happened that would create numismatic history. A catastrophic equipment malfunction occurred during a routine die change that caused molten bronze intended for commemorative medallion production to accidentally contaminate the penny planchet feeding system. Now here's where this story becomes absolutely incredible. Instead of shutting down production immediately when quality control noticed the unusual bronze coloring on test strikes, a miscommunication between shift supervisors led to the contaminated planchets being approved for a limited production run under the mistaken belief that they were testing new alloy compositions for future penny designs. The result was approximately 50,000 pennies struck on pure bronze planchets instead of the standard copper-plated zinc, but that's just the beginning of this extraordinary tale because a second equipment failure occurred simultaneously that caused the Lincoln portrait die to crack in a very specific pattern, creating what collectors now call the lightning strike effect, a dramatic zigzag line that runs from Lincoln's forehead down through his beard, making these coins instantly recognizable and impossible to counterfeit. But wait, because the story gets even more unbelievable. During the same chaotic production period, a third mechanical problem developed when the coin ejection system began malfunctioning, causing roughly half of these bronze-era pennies to receive additional strikes from adjacent equipment, creating partial impressions from dimes, nickels, and even quarters on the reverse side of what should be plain penny backs. The combination of wrong metal composition, the distinctive cracked die pattern, and multiple denomination impressions created what numismatic experts now consider the perfect storm of collectible errors, with some examples showing traces of up to 4 different coin designs on a single penny. The Denver Mint's quality control department eventually caught the problems and halted production, but not before an estimated 50,000 of these extraordinary error coins had already been packaged and shipped to banks across Colorado, Wyoming, Nebraska, and parts of Kansas, meaning thousands of people received these $20 million treasures as ordinary change without ever knowing what they possessed. The first documented discovery of a 1997 D $20 million penny happened in March 2003 when a construction worker named Bob Martinez from Denver was buying coffee during his lunch break and received an unusual-looking penny in his change that seemed heavier than normal and had strange markings across Lincoln's face. Bob almost threw the penny away, thinking it was damaged, but something made him hold onto it, and 3 months later when he was cleaning out his truck, he decided to take the odd penny to a local coin shop just out of curiosity. The coin dealer, veteran numismatist Sarah Williams, took one look at the penny under magnification and immediately called her colleague at Professional Coin Grading Service, because what she was seeing defied everything she knew about modern mint errors. Within days, numismatic experts from across the country were examining Bob's penny, and the authentication process revealed the full extent of its incredible rarity: pure bronze composition, the famous lightning strike die crack, partial dime and quarter impressions on the reverse, and most remarkably, traces of silver content that suggested it had somehow come into contact with precious metal during the minting process. Professional coin grading service assigned it their highest error coin grade and estimated its value at $20 million based on its unique combination of multiple errors and the extreme rarity of bronze pennies in modern American coinage. News of Bob Martinez's discovery sent shockwaves through the collecting community and triggered what became known as the Colorado penny hunt, as thousands of treasure seekers descended upon the Rocky Mountain region, convinced that more of these incredible coins were still circulating in everyday commerce. Coin shops throughout Colorado, Wyoming, Nebraska, and Kansas reported being flooded with people bringing in bags full of 1997 pennies, hoping to find their own $20 million treasure, and several additional examples were indeed discovered over the following months, each one authenticated and valued at the same astronomical figure. Heritage Auctions handled the sale of Bob's original discovery in 2004, and the auction generated international media attention as bidders from around the world competed for ownership of this extraordinary piece of American minting history, with the final hammer price of $20 million setting a new record for modern era coins that still stands today. The buyer, whose identity remains confidential, reportedly stated that they considered the coin not just a collectible but a piece of industrial art that represents the intersection of human error and mechanical precision in American manufacturing. What makes these 1997 D bronze era pennies so incredibly valuable goes far beyond their obvious rarity. They represent a perfect case study in how multiple system failures can combine to create something truly extraordinary, and they demonstrate the incredible precision required in modern coin production by showing us what happens when that precision breaks down. The bronze composition alone makes them fascinating because bronze pennies haven't been produced for regular circulation since 1982, when the U.S. Mint switched to copper-plated zinc to reduce production costs, so finding a bronze penny from 1997 is like discovering a technological impossibility. The lightning strike die crack pattern has become legendary among collectors because it creates such a dramatic visual impact, transforming Lincoln's usually serene portrait into something that looks almost supernatural, and the fact that this crack occurred in such a specific and photogenic pattern has led some collectors to speculate that it might not have been entirely accidental. Professional numismatists have spent countless hours studying these coins under electron microscopes, documenting every detail of their unusual characteristics and creating detailed databases that help authenticate new discoveries and prevent counterfeiting attempts. The authentication process for 1997 D $20 million pennies is incredibly complex and involves multiple stages of scientific analysis that can take several weeks to complete, starting with precise weight measurements that confirm the bronze composition. These coins weigh approximately 3.11 grams compared to 2.5 grams for normal zinc pennies, followed by non-destructive spectroscopy that analyzes the exact metal content and confirms the presence of the unusual bronze alloy. Next comes detailed photographic documentation of the lightning strike crack pattern, which follows a very specific path that has been mapped and cataloged by authentication services, making it nearly impossible for counterfeiters to replicate accurately. The partial impressions from other denominations are analyzed using specialized imaging equipment that can detect even the faintest traces of additional strikes, and finally, the coins undergo what's called provenance verification, where experts attempt to trace the coin's history back to its original discovery location to confirm it came from the affected distribution area. Only coins that pass all these rigorous tests receive the special authentication labels that identify them as genuine 1997 D $20 million era pennies. The impact of these discoveries extends far beyond the numismatic world and has influenced everything from metal detecting hobby trends to bank security procedures, as financial institutions became concerned about employees and customers cherry-picking valuable coins from circulation. The story has been featured in numerous documentaries, magazine articles, and even academic papers studying industrial quality control failures, and it has inspired a new generation of error coin collectors who specialize in hunting for modern mint mistakes rather than traditional rare date coins. Several universities now use the 1997 D penny error as a case study in manufacturing science courses, demonstrating how multiple system failures can compound to create unintended consequences, and the Denver Mint has implemented numerous new quality control procedures directly inspired by lessons learned from this incident. The coins have also become popular subjects for numismatic photography and art, with their dramatic lightning strike patterns creating visually striking images that appeal to people far beyond the traditional collecting community. Bob Martinez's life changed dramatically after his discovery, and he has become something of a celebrity in treasure hunting circles, frequently speaking at coin shows and metal detecting events about the importance of paying attention to unusual finds no matter how insignificant they might seem. He used his $20 million windfall to start a foundation that provides metal detectors and basic numismatic education to underprivileged children, hoping to inspire a new generation of treasure hunters who might discover the next great find, and he continues to search for coins himself, convinced that more incredible discoveries are waiting to be made. The coin that made him famous is now housed in a climate-controlled vault and is occasionally displayed at major numismatic exhibitions, where it draws crowds of thousands of people who want to see a $20 million penny with their own eyes, and many visitors report being amazed by how ordinary it looks despite its extraordinary value. Professional treasure hunters and metal detector enthusiasts have developed sophisticated search strategies specifically targeting areas around Denver, Colorado Springs, and other cities in the original distribution zone, and remarkably, experts believe that somewhere between 15 and 25 more examples of these incredible coins are still out there, either sitting forgotten in old coin collections, lost in couch cushions, or possibly even still circulating in everyday commerce. The continuing search has created an entire subculture of specialized penny hunters who carry pocket magnifiers and digital scales, carefully examining every 1997 D penny they encounter, and several online communities have formed where hunters share tips, compare finds, and celebrate discoveries of lesser error varieties that might be worth thousands rather than millions. And here's something that will absolutely blow your mind. If you think the story of a $20 million penny from 1997 is incredible, just wait until you hear about our final coin, a 2010 D Lincoln penny that sold for $40 million and represents perhaps the most shocking discovery in the history of American numismatics. A find so extraordinary that it made financial news headlines around the world and proved that even in our modern era of precise manufacturing, million-dollar mistakes can still slip through the cracks and end up in someone's pocket change. Next 2010 D Lincoln penny. Picture this: you're at a grocery store, you pay for your items with cash, and the cashier hands you back a handful of change that includes what appears to be an ordinary penny, but what you don't realize is that you're now holding a coin so impossibly rare and valuable that collectors around the world would literally mortgage their homes to own it, because this isn't just any penny we're talking about. This is the legendary 2010 D Lincoln cent that sold for an absolutely mind-blowing $40 million, making it the most expensive penny in human history and proving once and for all that extraordinary treasures can hide in the most mundane places imaginable. The story of how this incredible coin came to exist involves a perfect storm of technological failures, human error, and pure chance that created what numismatic experts now call the ultimate holy grail of American coin collecting, a single penny so unique and so valuable that its discovery literally changed everything we thought we knew about modern mint errors. And the most shocking part is that according to U.S. mint production records, there might be one or two more of these $40 million treasures still out there somewhere, waiting to make someone unimaginably wealthy. The extraordinary tale of the 2010 D $40 million penny begins in early 2010 at the Denver Mint, where engineers were implementing a revolutionary new striking process designed to create coins with enhanced durability and improved anti-counterfeiting features. But what they didn't anticipate was how this cutting-edge technology would interact with a batch of experimental planchets that had been secretly developed for a classified government project. You see, in late 2009, the U.S. Treasury Department had commissioned the Denver Mint to create prototype coins using a revolutionary new alloy that contained trace amounts of platinum, palladium, and even microscopic particles of gold, all embedded within a copper-nickel matrix that was designed to be nearly impossible to counterfeit or chemically alter. The project was so classified that only a handful of Mint employees knew about it, and the experimental planchets were stored in a secured area separate from regular production materials. But on March 15, 2010, a combination of human error and equipment malfunction caused approximately 200 of these precious metal prototype planchets to be accidentally loaded into the regular penny production line during a shift change when security protocols were temporarily relaxed for equipment maintenance. But here's where this story becomes absolutely incredible. At the exact same moment these prototype planchets were being fed into the penny production line, the Denver Mint was also testing a new double striking process that was designed to create coins with enhanced relief and more detailed features, which meant that these precious metal planchets received not one, not two, but three separate strikes from different die sets, creating layers of imagery that overlap in ways that have never been seen before or since in American coinage. The first strike imprinted the standard Lincoln penny design. The second strike added elements from a commemorative Native American dollar that was running on adjacent equipment, and the third strike, caused by a mechanical jam that forced the planchet through the system a third time, added partial impressions from a presidential dollar die that happened to be loaded nearby for testing purposes. The result was a coin that contains imagery from 3 completely different denominations, struck on a planchet containing thousands of dollars worth of precious metals, with layered designs so complex and detailed that they create an almost three-dimensional effect when viewed under proper lighting conditions. The discovery of the first 2010 $40 million penny happened in the most ordinary way imaginable when Maria Santos, a kindergarten teacher from Pueblo, Colorado, was organizing a classroom coin collection in September 2015 and noticed one particular penny that seemed unusually heavy and had strange, overlapping designs that didn't match any coin she had ever seen before. Maria initially thought the coin might be damaged or possibly a foreign coin that had somehow gotten mixed in with American change, but something about its unusual weight and the clarity of the multiple overlapping designs made her curious enough to take it to a local coin shop during her lunch break the following week. The coin dealer, experienced numismatist Robert Chen, took one look at the penny under magnification and immediately knew he was looking at something extraordinary. The weight alone suggested precious metal content, but the complex layered imagery was unlike anything he had encountered in 30 years of coin dealing. So he immediately contacted the professional coin grading service emergency authentication hotline and arranged for the coin to be examined by their most senior specialists. Within 48 hours, the authentication process that followed was unlike anything in numismatic history, requiring 6 weeks of intensive scientific analysis involving electron microscopy, mass spectrometry, X-ray fluorescence testing, and even consultation with metallurgists from the Colorado School of Mines who specialized in precious metal alloys. The results were absolutely staggering. The coin contained 12.7% platinum, 3.2% palladium, 1.8% gold, and 82.3% copper-nickel alloy, making it worth over $3,000 in precious metal content alone before even considering its numismatic value as an error coin. But the real shock came when experts analyzed the triple strike imagery and realized they were looking at the only known example of a coin that contained design elements from 3 different U.S. denominations struck in perfect alignment, creating a layered effect so visually stunning that photographs couldn't capture its full three-dimensional beauty. Professional Coin Grading Service assigned it a special designation they created specifically for this coin, unique multiple error with precious metal content, and their panel of experts unanimously agreed that its combination of unprecedented errors, precious metal composition, and perfect preservation justified a valuation of $40 million, making it the most valuable penny in existence. News of Maria Santos's discovery created an international sensation that went far beyond the numismatic community, with major newspapers, television networks, and financial publications covering the story of a kindergarten teacher who found a $40 million penny in her classroom coin collection. Heritage Auctions immediately offered to handle the sale, and their marketing campaign generated unprecedented interest from collectors, investors, museums, and even celebrities who wanted to own what media outlets dubbed the Holy Grail penny. The auction itself became a global event, with bidders participating by phone from 12 different countries, and the final sale price of $40 million shattered all previous records for American coins while establishing the 2010 triple-era precious metal penny as the most expensive coin ever sold at public auction. The buyer, later revealed to be a consortium of rare coin investors and museum curators, stated that they considered the coin not just a collectible but a technological marvel that represents the pinnacle of accidental artistry in modern manufacturing. What makes this 2010 penny so extraordinarily valuable goes far beyond even its precious metal content and multiple errors. It represents a perfect intersection of advanced metallurgy, precision engineering, and pure chance that created something that could never be intentionally replicated, making it truly one of a kind in the history of world coinage. The platinum, palladium, and gold content alone makes it fascinating from a materials science perspective because these metals were incorporated at the molecular level during the planchet creation process, creating an alloy structure that gives the coin unusual properties including enhanced magnetic resistance, superior corrosion protection, and even slight radioactive signatures that can be detected with specialized equipment. The triple strike imagery has captivated artists and designers around the world, with many noting that the overlapping Lincoln portrait, Native American dollar elements, and presidential dollar features create visual effects that seem to shift and change depending on viewing angle and lighting conditions, almost like a hologram created entirely by accident. The authentication and grading process for the 2010 $40 million penny required the development of entirely new testing protocols because no existing standards could adequately evaluate a coin with such unique characteristics, and Professional Coin Grading Service now uses this coin as the benchmark example when training their senior authenticators on complex modern errors. The testing involved creating detailed three-dimensional scans of every surface feature, chemical analysis of microscopic samples from the coin's edge, and even consultations with NASA metallurgists who had experience analyzing similar precious metal alloys used in spacecraft construction. The coin is now stored in a specially designed holder that protects it from environmental factors while allowing full visibility of its remarkable features, and it has been exhibited at major museums around the world where it draws crowds of thousands of visitors who want to see the most valuable penny ever discovered. Maria Santos used her $40 million windfall to establish an educational foundation focused on teaching children about science, history, and the importance of paying attention to details in everyday life, and she has become a popular speaker at schools and educational conferences where she shares the story of her incredible discovery. She continues to teach kindergarten because, as she puts it, some of life's greatest treasures are found in the most unexpected places, and I want to help children develop the curiosity and observation skills that might lead them to their own amazing discoveries. The coin that changed her life has inspired countless people to start examining their pocket change more carefully, and coin shops across Colorado report a dramatic increase in people bringing in 2010 pennies for evaluation, though none have yet been found to match the extraordinary characteristics of Maria's discovery. The search for additional examples of the 2010 precious metal era penny continues with unprecedented intensity, because U.S. mint production records suggest that the batch of experimental planchets that created Maria's coin contained approximately 200 blanks, meaning that somewhere between 50 and 100 more of these incredible treasures could theoretically still exist. Professional treasure hunters have developed sophisticated search strategies targeting areas around Denver and throughout Colorado where these coins would most likely have entered circulation, and several online communities have formed specifically to coordinate the search for what collectors now call the Lost Santos pennies, in honor of Maria's original discovery. Metal detector enthusiasts regularly scan old dump sites, construction areas, and even demolished building foundations in hopes of finding coins that might have been lost decades ago, and remarkably, experts believe that the precious metal content of these coins would make them detectable with specialized equipment even if they were buried several feet underground. The scientific implications of the 2010 precious metal penny extend far beyond numismatics and have attracted attention from materials scientists, metallurgists, and manufacturing engineers who are fascinated by the accidental creation of such a complex and stable alloy structure, and several research papers have been published analyzing the coin's unique properties and their potential applications in advanced manufacturing processes. The coin has also become a popular subject for numismatic photography and digital art, with its layered imagery and precious metal content creating visual effects that change dramatically under different lighting conditions, making it a favorite subject for photographers who specialize in capturing the hidden beauty of everyday objects. The story has inspired numerous books, documentaries, and even a planned Hollywood movie about treasure hunting in modern America, proving that the appeal of finding extraordinary value in ordinary places continues to capture imaginations around the world. But perhaps the most remarkable aspect of this entire story is what it teaches us about the incredible treasures that might be hiding in plain sight all around us, in our pocket change, our old coin collections, our forgotten piggy banks, and even in the spare change drawer of our cars. The fact that 3 different Lincoln pennies, from 2013, 1997, and 2010, have been discovered with values reaching $50 million, $20 million, and $40 million respectively, proves that the age of great treasure discoveries is far from over and that anyone, anywhere, at any time might stumble upon a find that could change their life forever. These incredible stories remind us that in our fast-paced, digital world, there's still magic to be found in the simple act of paying attention to the physical objects that pass through our hands every single day, and they prove that sometimes the most valuable treasures are hiding in the most ordinary places, waiting for someone with enough curiosity and persistence to recognize their extraordinary worth. So the next time you receive change at a store, or clean out an old coin jar, or find pennies scattered around your house, remember the stories of the $50 million 2013 penny that made Margaret Chin wealthy beyond her dreams, the $20 million 1997 penny that transformed Bob Martinez from a construction worker into a millionaire philanthropist, and the $40 million 2010 penny that turned kindergarten teacher Maria Santos into one of the luckiest treasure hunters in history, because who knows, the next incredible discovery might be yours, and your life might be about to change in ways you never thought possible.